Hey everybody, what is going on? Hexlex here. I got another Master Duel video for you. So, of course, everyone is abuzz with the release of Super Heavy Samurai, but there is one other archetype that was released that I personally am far more excited for, and that's Gold Pride, BB! Let's start up our engines! Ooh, I love racing. I've actually been playing a lot of Mario Kart lately, so this archetype feels very fitting. I also, as a kid, Hanna-Barbera's, Wacky Races was, one of my favorite, cartoons that I didn't get to see super often, because it didn't come on a lot, and just having a whole archetype that's, based around that idea is so cool. I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. And it actually fits perfectly with another one of my favorite archetypes in terms of aesthetic, and that is going to be Punk. These two decks not only have great art, but they also mechanically work very, very well together. In fact, in a lot of ways, sometimes I've called Gold Pride quote-unquote Punk 2, just because of how, well the strategies work together. So why do these strategies work so well together? Well, namely because the Gold Pride monsters all have a condition where if your life points are lower than your opponent's, you can special summon them from your hand. And guess what card will automatically set your life point lower than your opponent's on turn 1? Of course, not just Amin, but all of the Punk tuners and their ability to pay life points will definitely make sure that you can increase the consistency at which you can summon these Gold Pride cards. Of course, it's not just the Punk's, draining of life points that actually set up the Gold Pride plays, but actually your Punk line can go directly into a Gold Pride line. The idea being, if you do a quote-unquote Punk line, and what I mean by that is, let's say you start with Amin, right? Amin for Foxy for Sharakusai, fusing for the Rising Carp. Rising Carp gets you, the Wa Gon, as well as the Deer Note. You get to add the field spell, and then you sync for the 8, that being the Jam Dragon Drive. Deer Note brings back one of your level 3 tuners, and then Jam Dragon Drive can also add a level 3 Psychic Monster from deck to hand. Now, normally what we do is we would add, a Madam Spider, or we would add, a Ghost Ogre, which we're actually not playing at all in this build. And the reason we're not playing Ghost Ogre is because our level 3 of choice is actually going to be Psychic Tracker. Psychic Tracker can special summon itself while you have another level 3 monster on the field, which could very easily be the Punk monster that you bring back with the Deer Note. And then from there, you can overlay for a rank 3, the Gold Pride Chariot Carry. And that's actually how you pivot into your Gold Pride plays from the Punk line, because from there, you detach a material from Chariot Carry. That'll allow you to add the Better Luck Next Time. Better Luck Next Time will allow you to then add Pinballer or Leon or really whatever Gold Pride plays you want to set up from there. Pinballer is probably my favorite monster to have on the field going into the opponent's turn, as it can fuse into the Pinballer, or I guess it's technically Ball Roller, or Roller Baller, Jesus, goes into the Pinballer, the fusion monster. The Pinballer can equip monsters on your opponent's field, and also this effect activation and effect itself cannot be negated, which is really, really cool. Now, all the Gold Pride monsters have these effects where during the end phase, if you activate their effects, then they go back to the extra deck. For Pinballer, that's totally fine, though, because remember, it's going to have your opponent's monsters equipped to it, right? And that means that anything that is equipped to it when it goes back to the extra deck will go to the graveyard. This also does not count as being destroyed, so even if those cards have effects that proc when destroyed, they will not activate when Pinballer leaves the field. It's so cool. It's just, I love it. I love it mechanically, I love it thematically. Gold Pride is where it's at. It is Pride Month every month here, baby. Well, for more reason than one, of course, but Gold Pride Leon, also definitely not a bad card to have. Just be mindful that if you are going to be special summoning this and bringing back another Gold Pride monster, that you are locked into only summoning Gold Prides from the extra deck for the remainder of the turn. So just keep that in mind if you are going to end up using Leon. But there's also the Chariot Carry. Chariot Carries are the main deck Gold Pride monster, which can add a Gold Pride trap card from deck to hand. It's also got a minor effect to boost some attack points, but it's mainly going to be used, in my experience, as an extender. And one of the things that you'll fuse with for the Pinballer or synchro with on your opponent's turn with the Leon or something like that. You could also use Leon to bring back Pinballer, or Roller Baller, I keep calling it Pinballer. And then fuse that way as well. However you want to do it, really, however you can set it up. Other Gold Pride cards we're playing. That came out of nowhere. This is definitely one of the more cuttable cards in the build. It is nice to have the Graveyard Extender sometimes, but honestly, having to have your opponent also summon a monster out of their hand is like... or Graveyard is like, ugh. I mean, to be fair, you know, you can deal with it pretty easily with, like, you know, the Synchro effect or the Fusions effect or whatever, but... I don't know. I'm kind of thinking about cutting this card. I haven't really used it to that great effect just yet, but it's also not awful by any means. Other Gold Pride support we're playing is a trap card. Start your engines! Yeah, this card is very, very good. You don't have to have a Gold Pride monster out on your field in order to activate it, by the way. It's just when your opponent summons, you reveal 3 Gold Pride monsters from your deck. You summon one of those, and then you destroy your opponent's monster. Now, you do have to have the 3 Gold Pride monsters in your deck, of course, but yeah, this being archetypal removal, that doesn't actually have to, or have archetypal removal where you actually do not have to have the archetyped monster on the field in order to use it. That's pretty cool, and very strong too, also, as well. We are, of course, also doing our regular punk stuff here as well. Setting up the amazing Dragon Drive into the opponent's turn. Pep. Oh my god. We have been sweeping with that peep here. This card is insane. One of my favorite Synchro monsters. I always forget until I play Punk just how much I love me a good Psychic End Punisher. We have a lot of ability to make rank gates here, playing both in number 90 and number 38. The Chariot Carry opens up Zeus a lot of the time. Yeah, Gold Pride is really just helping what Punk already wanted to... Oh, and then we're also on the Terrortop package because, again, the Chariot Carry is a rank 3, so sometimes you can just start your turn with a Terrortop into Chariot Carry before even making any of the plays, like, you know, with your Punk stuff in hand. This is actually also very, very good going second for going into the Zeus as well. So, cool stuff, great stuff. I think this deck is a ton of fun. I can't wait to keep messing with it. And, oh, you also probably noticed that, gasp, I'm at 42 cards! Yeah, this deck has a lot of searchability and a lot of different kinds of starters, so I'm fine going a little bit above 40, especially to also fit Drolls and Nib and all that stuff I wanted to as well. But I can see a world where I end up cutting, like, that came out of nowhere, and maybe a Chariot Carry as well, and going down to 40. I'll have to keep experimenting and seeing how much I like the particular ratios / cards in the deck. But, alright, I think that covers pretty much everything I wanted to say about the build so far. Of course, we have some games to check out, and these are going to be from a Duel Room stream. We did viewer duels, testing out all of the new stuff on the day 1 of release. It was a ton of fun, and these games we're going to be seeing are from that session. So let's break the list down card by card, and then we'll check out that those games rather. So we're on 2 Droll Knockbird, 3 Maxx, 2 Speedroid Terrortop, 1 Speedroid Taketamborg, 3 Ash Blossom and Joy Spring, 1 Psychic Tracker, 1 Ukiyoe Punk Sharakusai, 1 P.U.N.K Wa Gon, 1 Joruri Punk Madam Spider, 3 Noh-P.U.N.K Amin, 3 Gold Pride Leon, 2 Gold Pride Captain Carrie, 2 Noh-P.U.N.K Deer Note, 1 Gold Pride Roller Baller, 3 Noh-P.U.N.K Foxy Tune, 1 Nibiru the Primal Being, 1 Punk Jam Extreme Session, 1 Gold Pride Better Luck Next Time, 2 Emergency Teleport, 2 Called by the Grave, 1 Crossout Designator, 1 Gold Pride That Came Out of Nowhere, 1 Joruri Punk Nashiwari Surprise, and then finally 1 Gold Pride Start Your Engines! It's going to go ahead and do it for the main deck. For the extra deck, we are on 1 Ukiyoe Punk Rising Carp, 1 Gold Pride Pinballer, 1 Gold Pride Star Leon, 1 Draco Berserker of the Tenyi, 1 Adamancipator Risen Dragite, 1 Punk Jam Dragon Drive, 1 Ukiyoe Punk Amazing Dragon, 1 Psychic End Punisher, 2 Gold Pride Chariot Carry, 1 number 38 Hope Harbinger Titanic Galaxy, 1 number 90 Galaxy Eyes Photon Lord, 1 Divine Arsenal Ah Zeus Sky Thunder, 1 Donner Dagger for Hire, and then finally 1 Underworld Goddess of the Closed World. That'll do it for the list. Let's see those replays. Okay, our first opponent is going to be Bad. Bad is rolling up with a Monadium list. Rocking a set of econs in that list as well. Very, very cool tech. Very good stuff. Alright, we're going to be taking the first turn here. And our hand is not good. Yeah, Sharakusai Taketamborg, a combo does not make. I'm going to normal summon Sharakusai, set the Nashiwari Surprise, and then pass. So Bayad is going to start off with a Monadium Imaginings, and I'm actually going to chain the Maxx here. Now, I know I said in a previous video, I had an opponent who chained Maxx to Imaginings, and I did the whole, like, why would you use Maxx here? But you folks in the comments were actually very, very helpful in pointing out that the reason to use Maxx against Imaginings is to try to get the Maxx off before they draw into an Ash Blossom. Indeed, Ash Blossom could be one of the very cards they're digging for, because this deck is very susceptible to the Maxx. So, yeah, huge shout out to everyone who pointed that out in the comments. That was 100% my mistake. Maxx against Imaginings is in fact a good play. Good enough that I have even started adapting it myself as well. This, of course, will not negate the Imaginings by any means, but will definitely make the idea of comboing at least a little bit scarier here. So, I'm going to use the Nashiwari Surprise against the Calarium. I figured that was probably the best target to hopefully stop the Rim or Meek or anything like that from happening. But as you can see, Bad has the Rim Heart and the Torrid. Using a position on the Torrid to add the Calarium. That'll pull a Meek from the deck. We are getting some draws here, which is, of course, very, very good. Trisukta coming out. Trisukta F activating to bring back the Monadium Meek. Also, don't worry, we will be covering Monadium in our next video with the new Synchro cards. Here, Trisukta and the, what is it, Amritara? Amritara? Something like that? But I'm going to Droll here. Droll Knockbirdie, notoriously good card against Monadium. Very glad I picked up the Droll as well, as I definitely did not want to have to play into... Well, not even playing into a Monadium board despite having a lot of cards in hand. Like, I was probably just going to die if I didn't get Droll or Nib there, so... Because it was turn 2. They were poised to OTK, but... Thankfully, Droll does end up stopping them dead in their tracks. Alright, so here we end up not having too many Punk plays. I'm going to have to go for my Gold Pride stuff instead. Going to use Chariot Carrie, or Captain Carrie, and the, what is it? Blah, 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 the other one. Psychic Tracker to go for the Chariot Carrie. And here I decided to just go for a Zeus setup, because, like, I'm not going to be able to OTK this turn anyway, so... We'll just make it a Zeus. I am still going to summon the Rollerballer here, though, because I only have one Zeus board wipe, and I would like to have multiple forms of disruption. We have to start your engines as well for that. Reichphobia is going to activate. I'm just going to go ahead and Ash Blossom it here. I do not want them to be able to search up the Visas Starfrost and pop the Meek that's on board and then potentially have plays, so... They do still get to use the Field Spell to blow up the Zeus, though. I should have considered that and probably put Zeus and or the Rollerballer in attack mode, actually. Calarium coming down next to add Rim Heart. I'm positioned especially in the Rim Heart, but thankfully I'm going to use the Start Your Engines here. Just go ahead and get rid of that. Well, Bad's going to have the Ash Blossom, but we have the Call By here. I do think using the Start Your Engines here on the Rim Heart is correct. I don't think there's anything too scary they can add with it, and then they'll only have the Meek on board. Start Your Engines will also summon out a Gold Pride monster, which will make our Rollerballer live as well. They're actually adding Monadium Breakheart, which is cool. I haven't seen anybody use that yet. I'm going to use the Gold Pride Leon to bring back Chariot Carrie, and then as they go to end their main phase, what I'm going to do here is fuse Chariot Carrie with Rollerballer for the Pinballer. Pinballer F will eat up the Meek, and then Pinballer will go back, and... Again, we're not actually destroying the card, so that does not proc Monadium Meek or Calarium to activate there. Monadium Breakheart coming down, but I'm casually just the best player in the world and just peeled this Call By off the top of my deck. So, got very, very lucky there. I think even after this game, Bad, like, messaged me, or not messaged me, we're, you know, in the stream chat, because we were in a stream, and was like, did you top deck that gold, or that Called By? And I was like, I sure did! I sure did. But yeah, now I should have more than enough resources to put enough damage on board to end the duel. I'm going to make a Dragite here just to have it for the back row, potentially. Because of course I didn't know it was reframing, but... Nah, we should be fine. We should be totally fine moving forward from here. In fact, yeah, I can just turn Leon to attack mode and just smash with everything I have on board. No need to draw the duel out. Alright, so there is our first game with Gold Pride Punk. Let's go ahead and check out another one here. Alright, we have another game against Hua. I say another one because you might remember we played against them, I think about a week ago. It was a very, very recent video. They had the replay redeem. And they are on Bird Up. We're going to be taking the first turn again here. Going to start with the E-Telly. They do have the Maxi, but thankfully we are holding on to an Ash Blossom. So I'm going to use that against the Maxi here. Good stuff. All right, here is the Amin. Amin F to add the Sharakusai. Going to normal summon the Sharakusai next and activate in order to fusion summon the Rising Carp. But unfortunately for me, if I recall correctly, yes, this Imperm is going to come down as soon as the Rising Carp is summoned, which will prevent me from doing anything further with it, unfortunately, for this turn. So this is just going to be one of those games where, oh, you know what? That's right. I was just about to say, no, I didn't mean to fast forward, I meant to pause. I was about to say it's going to be one of those games where I just make a Peep or Pap Psychic Punisher. I call it Peep because I heard, Maple, VTuber, I am very much a huge fan of. She's awesome. She does great streams. Definitely go check her out. She calls Psychic and Punisher Peep instead of Pep. I just thought that was funny. But I meant to make a Peep here, but because I have the Nashiwari Surprise, I think it might actually be better that I just left the Punk monsters on the field instead. I could have also made the Amazing Dragon potentially and like brought back one of my other things, but meh. But yeah, locking myself in the gold prize with Leon, I did that by accident here. But I still wanted to do that to bring back the Roller Baller and have that disruption for the next turn. Here I am going to Nashiwari Surprise the Fire Formation Tenyi, just to get some use out of that while I still can. Plus, again, I have the Roller Baller to handle monsters here, so... Bird Call is going to add the Cobalt Sparrow, but yeah, we can see their hand because it's a dual room, and unfortunately they just don't have anything to follow that up with, so... Rising Carp is still fusion summoned, so I can still activate it here. And I don't know what it was about this dual room and me just top decking call buys exactly when I needed them, but who else gonna have the call buy as well for the Rising Carp itself? So one called buy for another, I suppose. But of course, that is not going to be the end of our plays here, as we definitely have more than enough stuff to continue making plays with. Namely, I'm going to Synchro Summon with the Roller Baller and Madam Spider for the Jam Dragon Drive. Jam Dragon Drive lets me add a level 3 Psychic. I'm going to grab the Amin, and I've not normal summoned, so let's just normal summon Amin and add us a Foxy tune. I'm then going to overlay the Amin and Gold Pride Leon in order to go for a Chariot Carrie. Chariot Carrie F will add a Gold Pride spell from deck to hand. Let's grab the Better Luck Next Time and mill ourselves a Captain Carrie. So while we don't have lethal, our opponent no longer has anything on hand or field, and we of course get to go into Dazus. Honestly, that's my favorite part about Chariot Carrie. In the few games I've played with this deck so far, is just the fact that it enables the Zeus so much easier in Punk. So good. Yeah, Ash Blossom for Almirage. Cute way of ending the duel as opposed to just hitting the surrender button. But yeah, I'm not going to drag things out here. I'll just go ahead and swing in for game. We do still have a couple more games to show off here, so let us go into the next one. Alright, gotta show off this next game against Baz here. Or Baz. I think I asked and I don't remember what they said the correct pronunciation was. Baz. They are on Adventure Dragon Link. They're going to be taking the first turn here, and this is going to be one hell of a duel. It's 9 turns long. Leading with the Brains Regained to normal summoning Ringo, leaking off the Ringo Worm into the Striker Dragon, but unfortunately, looking at their hand, it looks like Baz is not going to have much of any follow-up plays here. Yeah, adding the Boot Sector and then passing right back to me. We opened the Terrortop as well as a bunch of Gold Pride cards and Sharakusai. I will say, I think I do kind of want some Ogre Dances in here, because I would like to open Punk cards slightly more often, but I'm fine going Chariot Carrie into Zeus, into other stuff here, potentially. Oh, we're going to rollerballer first. Okay, special summoning the Captain Carrie as well. Captain Carrie F will add the start your engines. Ah, that's right. Normal summoning Sharakusai, and then I decided to go for a level 11 this way. Ah, I was trying to sneak in a Pep OTK. That's what it was. Yeah, because by special summoning Leon, and then bringing back the rollerballer, I was going to use Pep's effect until the Nib came down here. And Nib, of course, does not affect my Peep, my Psychic and Punisher, but it will, however, stop me from winning the duel on this turn. So, yeah, setting 3 and then going into their turn here. This Foolish Burial, a very good top deck, except I do have the Called By here, unfortunately for them. Alright, Call By. Gonna manage to Abstrator, especially because I know they have the Boot Sector. This does have her proc the Branded Regained, which drew them the Quick Launch anyway. I was wondering if that was the case, but when we actually played, I was wondering if they drew the Quick Launch or if it was already in hand, but now they ripped it off the Regain. That's a pretty good Regain draw for them, definitely, for sure. Getting rid of the Captain Carrie in my other back row makes sense. Quick Launch is going to pull out the Rocket Tracer. Tracer pop the Regained for that Recharger. Going for the Dark Charmer Gloomy here. Dark is going to, well, first Boot Sector is going to activate, bringing back the Rocket Tracer. Battle Phase will bump up my Pep's attack points. However, with Dark battling into the Nibiru token, now Boz's life points are lower than mine, which means my Pep is affected by card effects again. Nightmare Unicorn is going to put it back into the extra deck and passing back over to me. Top decking an Ash Blossom here. It might look like I'm winning the top deck war with the Nibiru token, but remember, the Boot Sector launch can bring back that Rocket Tracer, so things are definitely not over yet, not by any means. Especially out when you top deck a Ringo Worm on top of it, too. Oh, it even gets the special summon with the Primal Being token. That's cool. That's super cool. Going for another Striker Dragon here. Striker F to pop itself, wheel the Tracer back to hand. Boot Sector will summon the Recharger from Graveyard. Tracer coming down, popping the Boot Sector. I'm going to use the Ash Blossom here, because it felt like one of the better points to do it, to deny them a body, and force them to make plays with only the Tracer and the Recharger. However, that is still going to get them a Heretic Seal of the Heavenly Spheres, which of course is not good for my Nibiru token. Amin is a pretty good top deck, however without another card in hand, the Foxy tune doesn't do much by itself. I'm going to Battle Phase and attempt the final blow, but of course the Spheres not only gets rid of the token, but also pulls out a Magnum Hut to chump block the hit. That Magnum Hut is also going to get a Dragon Search during the end phase for a Bestial Lubellion. Call By is going to be the other card drawn for turn there. Boot Sector bringing back the Rocket Tracer, Lubellion F adding in order to add the Saronir. Yeah, just a great back and forth duel here. Saronir being summoned and then traded out for the Lubellion. Saronir F will mill yet another Lubellion, makes sense. And then setting up the Branded Beast, and as soon as I saw this Branded Beast, I was like, oh, it's over. It's pretty over at this point. Getting rid of the Better Luck next time for good measure. And then, of course, they get back the Branded Regained as well. Very, very scary, especially as I'm top decking here. Nibiru, he showed up way too late, unfortunately. And even when I try to activate Foxy Tune's effect, they just have the Called By anyway. So, yeah, wow, that was an insane grind game. Especially for a matchup like Punk versus Dragon Link, you wouldn't think that would be like a 9-turn grind game of a duel, but here we are. I'm ultimately going to just have to pass it back to Boz, who can just attack with, yeah, the Lubellion for lethal here. GG's, that was extremely well played. Thank you for the very, very good game. We've got another one to check out here. One last one. Let's go ahead and see that. And our final opponent for this video from the viewer duel stream here is going to be Drugandes, who is on Branded. I think, actually... yeah, so they were playing 47 cards. I remember even saying during the stream when I saw 47 cards, I'm like, yeah, This has got to be branded. What other deck would play such a weird deck count? But I mean, it's actually fine for branded, all things considered. Like, branded is one of those decks where you can just play any number between 40 and 60 and you're all good. Terrortop was a phenomenal top deck here, because it's going to allow us to go into not only the Chariot Carry, but spoiler alert, I'm actually going to Zeus here before I even do any of my other lines. That might look really weird, especially given that I have like E-Telly and the Punk Field spell, and Start Your Engines and all this other stuff in my hand. But the thing is, I don't feel good about playing into Branded's back rows. I was thinking Super Poly. I'm like, they gotta have a Super Poly here. There's no shot they don't have Super Poly. It's gonna turn out to be Branded Banishment, which is kind of the same thing, so. Gonna fire off that Called By before it goes away. Hitting, was it my Terrortop? Yeah, just using it before it goes. That makes sense. But anyway, now that the field is clear, now I'm going to start comboing. I'm going to activate the field spell before I E-Telly. Amin for Foxy Tune will get me a draw off the Extreme Session. Just another better luck next time. Because it's the second copy, I'm just going to pitch off the Foxy Tune. Magnum Hut coming down here against the Foxy Tune. That's ultimately fine. Not that big of a deal. Does prevent me... Well, it is a little bit, because I did want to go into a number 38 against Branded. I want to have the spell negation, but I should still be able to end on that anyway, if I recall correctly here. Another draw from the Jam Dragon Drive. Start Your Engines is a phenomenal draw. Summoning out the Madam Spider, because I already have the field spell in play, there's no point for going for Wa Gon, rather. Getting the Washishari Surprise. Is that what the card's called? Nashiwari Surprise. Jam Dragon Drive is going to activate, as well as Deer Note for the Rising Carp. That's why the Foxy Tune Banish ultimately didn't hugely matter, because I had plays anyway. I'm going to overlay these two to make the number 38 Hope Harbinger Titanic Galaxy. Now we can go for a Start Your Engines for the Rollerballer. And casually just vomit out a bunch of Gold Pride monsters on the board as well. It's so good. So good how easily you can set that up. Magnum Hut's going to end up grabbing in Fallen of Albaz here. Funnily enough, I want to explain this Call By on the end phase. This looks really, really weird. It's because I forgot to set Call By. I actually thought that came out of nowhere was Called By, and that's why I set it. And then during the end phase, I realized, oops, I still have Call By in hand. But it actually ended up working out here, because when they added Albaz, I realized, oh, they have an Albaz in the graveyard. I could just Call By the Albaz in the yard, and now the Albaz in hand can't use its effect. Because Call By negates it until the next end phase, Albaz will be negated through this turn as well. Okay, Magnum Hut's going to sack for Lubellion here, and it was a pretty big misplay on my part to not use the Rollerballer as soon as the Lubellion hit the field. Thankfully, they activated Lost and not Branded Beast, but I was a little bit afraid of that card in particular. Normal Summon Quem to send the Retribution. This is fine. Adding back the Branded Banishment. Okay. And then they sink for the Lulu Lilith, which I actually did forget about. But that's fine. I'm going to use Rollerballer here, fusing it with the Chariot Carry, going for a Pinballer, and I'll just attach that Lulu Lilith there. Yeah, Lulu Lilith, the negate does get to proc, but thankfully because Drugan is turn player, their optional effect activates first, so my Pinballer is actually going to be Chain Link 2 and I get to equip anyway. Oh, and the Nashiwari Surprise got to destroy the face-down Branded... What's that card called? Banishment. Again, which was very, very nice, because I did not, again, want that to mess me up on the follow-up turn. So, GG's, everybody. As always, as ever, it's a ton of fun when everyone comes out for the Duel Room streams. If you're interested in checking out a Duel Room stream yourself, or just streams in general, description below is going to have a link to my Twitch page. You can follow or subscribe over there to stay up to date of when I go live. But that'll do it for this video. Thank you, everybody, so much for watching here, these games. Let us move now to our outro. Hey everybody, thank you so much for watching all the way to the end of the video. That means a lot to me. It's also a great way to support the channel, so thank you very much in that way as well. If you're interested in supporting the channel in other ways, like the very special patrons that I am thanking here, you can do so by checking out some of the links in the description. One of those goes to the Patreon, where you can join these fine folk and support the channel that way. I do post daily content over on Patreon, so you do get something for supporting there. And if you're interested, I also have a coaching tier option as well. Details again will be on Patreon in the link below. Also in the description linked below is my Twitch page where I stream a few times a week. You can go ahead and check that out, follow or subscribe over there if you ever want to catch me live. You'll also find my second YouTube channel if you feel like subscribing over there to watch some of the Twitch VODs as well as some additional non-Yu-Gi-Oh related content that I make over there. Again, any of those links you want to check out is all a great way of supporting. But again, even if you don't do that, just watching was also a fantastic way to support. And once again, I have to thank you so very much. But in any case, this is Hexlex. I'm going to be signing out, and I'm hoping you have a fantastic day.